First Plus, this is Sports Tonight.
Welcome to Sports Tonight, Lee. How you feel?
I'm good. What's going on, man?
Midweek. I feel like I haven't done this show in like forever.
Yeah.
It's been a long sports week so far.
It has been.
It's been a lot going on. I mean, you got the NCAA tournament. You have so many local football teams headed back to
Spring
get some
training.
spring work in.
Yep.
How's your crazy week been so far?
You know what? I can't complain, man. Been getting up every day, doing this job. Been a little bit in different stuff here and there. So we're good. Everything's good.
Yeah. So when you think about it so far, like one of the really cool things that's coming up here is the start of baseball season.
Yep.
Well, they've already started. They've already had one game, right, with the Dodgers and the
They called it
Padres.
the Seoul series. So they played in Seoul, South Carolina.
Was that like
the Dodgers and Padres? Yeah, because Shohei. Yeah.
I guess that's the MLB's version of Week 0, kind of like what college football does when when the season's getting started.
But it's also kind of interesting. The NFL, is trying to expand into international games.
Yes.
They play games in Germany and London, and I think they're talking about playing one in like Mexico City at some point next season.
I got confused the first year when they did this MLB game because I was thinking, like, does this game count? Is this a real game?
Yeah,
but then
it does.
there's also exhibition games taking
counts.
place too.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they're going to play the game they played last night, and then it's still like, a week later they're
Right.
going to start actual opening day for everybody else. So it's kind of weird, but whatever.
That's really cool, right? I mean, obviously the Braves will be getting their 2024 campaign going in quest of their third consecutive 100-plus win season. So a lot of success out there, right? Opening day starter is none other than
Spencer Strider.
Spencer Strider. He'll be on the mound at opening day game. And here, as a matter of fact, you want to hear from Spencer Strider as he gets
I think
ready
I
for his
would.
game?
I'd like to hear that.
Because I think this could be potentially a huge year for Strider when you look at where he's at right now and just kind of the year he's coming off of. He's going to be a huge key for the Braves to get where they want to be, right? I mean,
Of course.
when you look at that rotation and to put it with that hitting, I mean, there's really no reason other than playing the Phillies again why the
come on
Braves
now,
can't get
don't-
where they want to be, right?
It's always the Phillies.
Those darn Phillies. Well, you know what they say, the third time's a charm. So if they play them this year in the playoffs,
Hopefully.
third straight time, they'll probably get it done. So enough with hearing from me and Leo about this whole, Braves 2024, get past the Phillies and Spencer Strider topic. Hear from the man himself, Spencer, as he talks about getting ready for the 2024 campaign.
Your initial thoughts when they said you get the ball, game 1 of 162?
Yeah, they a skipper came and told me, we obviously have a plethora of guys that are deserving of this. I think that's certainly makes it an honor for me. But I think if you ask anybody, we're all sort of focused on winning every game we play on each day, and how that will get us to where we want to be in October. So game 1 is equally as important as game 162, and I think that's kind of that's the point of view that's made us successful as an organization. So definitely a cool honor for me, but the focus is certainly still towards the end of the season.
I'll jump back in if no one else is going. Just with the significance of it, is it more family, more friends? You're going game 1. Is that kind of increased demand on the side for you?
Since it's in Philadelphia, I don't think there's going to be a large following of people coming to watch there. But I mean, you like somebody pointed out to me today that some of the players I grew up rooting for and following, they were opening day starters and just kind of benefit from the same honor that they did is a very neat experience for me. And it's certainly not, like I said, it's not lost on me that there are other players, other pitchers on our staff that are deserving of this as well.
Who are those guys? Just real quick, Grant. Who are those guys that you kind of grew up watching? Like, man, it's cool to see Maddox or Glavine or Smoltz take the ball game 1.
For me, growing up a Cleveland fan, it was Corey Kluber was the big one. I think he still holds the record for most consecutive opening day starts for Cleveland. So, just it always seems like, the prominent figure on the rotation is getting that opening day start, and I certainly don't consider myself the prominent figure. Like I said, that's what's unique about our situation is we have several guys that are all number ones and all deserving of an opening day start. Just so happens that it's lined up where it's going to be me.
Hey, Spencer, I know that obviously the focus is winning every game, as you just said, being that this season is kind of picking up where the last couple have ended. Is there anything that kind of amps up that intensity, or is that kind of just a secondary background noise?
No, I don't think so. I think if somehow beating the Phillies in game one of the season could atone for losing to them in the DS, then that would be true. But as we all know, that doesn't work that way. So every game is important. You play 162 games, you learn how that's true. The more that there are, it doesn't diminish the value of each one. Every game, and I think that's something we learned in 22 is, it came down to the wire. We were sort of chasing the Mets all season, and then a couple of games throughout the regular season go a different way, and that series isn't as meaningful. So to be in that position required us to treat every day throughout the course of the season as the most important day at that moment. And I think that we have an emphasis this year trying to have that perspective, but also sort of learn along the way, make sure we're getting better, make sure that our long-term goal is being the best we can in October.
This spring seems to have been a nice springboard for you to get ready to maybe incorporate, new weapons in your arsenal. How are you feeling about all of that, and how excited are you to just kind of see what 2024 has in store with all of the work that you've done to get here?
Yeah, I definitely think that we made a lot of adjustments in terms of how I've gone about the spring, and based upon last year and things that we learned through that process, and all with the intent in mind to be the most prepared as we can be when the regular season starts. And I'm very confident with where we are, and still a lot of work to be done and a lot of things to learn, and that process is going to play out over the regular season.
Hi, Spencer. Hey, it's Paul Newberry from Associated Press. Can you talk a little more about what it's meant, why bring in a new pitch to your arsenal, as it was mentioned, and why you did that, and what do you think that adds to what you did? I mean, obviously you had a tremendous year last year, and here you are kind of, trying to maybe take it a step further. Can you just talk about that process and how comfortable you feel, and how much you think it might help you this year?
Yeah, I think that and sort of analyzing the way the season ended last year, and the season as a whole, the sort of outcome was that we were not, and myself in particular, was not as good as we needed to be to complete our ultimate goal of winning the World Series. So you start addressing that by improving where you can. One of the ways that I could improve was to try to adopt this curveball. It's a pitch that kind of fits my arsenal well, and it's something that I've used before. So picking it up wasn't that difficult necessarily. And I think that that's kind of the perspective that I had on it was how can I get better? In my talent as a baseball player. I think that there was a lot of emphasis on the focus and the preparation for the postseason, and in particular last year. And the outcome obviously was not what we desired. So you're left to improve your talent overall, I think, at that point.
How much more dominant do you think? I don't know if dominant's the word you want to use, but how much more effective do you think it will make you having that one more pitch in your arsenal, with an arsenal that was already pretty stout?
I don't know that was necessarily my justification behind it or my thought process. I think if anything, it was just adding a tool to my toolbox in a way. If I was able to, I would go out and learn every pitch that's ever been conceived of, and have that at my disposal. But I can't do that. So, like I said, this is something that sort of fit my strengths and my capabilities. So it made sense to try to incorporate it. I may never throw one after spring training ever again. If it were up to me, I would throw 100% fastballs right down the middle, and in an ideal world. but obviously I can't do that and be successful most of the time. So I think, like I said, I just wanted to improve my capabilities overall, and this was a feasible way of doing that.
If your stats carry over to the regular season, no runs and about 1,000 strikeouts, so that'd be pretty productive. But how much of this, our new arsenal, you want to call it, is what the proof is in the pudding? How much stock do you put into spring training carrying over, or is it just you getting that 1% better for when it's go time?
Yeah, I don't. If spring training outcomes carried over into the regular season, then we'd have a lot of issues going into spring training. And a lot of misplaced confidence. And I think that's part of the learning process in spring training is understanding what to value. And that's true of every sample size, whether it's one regular season game or a spring training or a month, a career, whatever it is. So, the things you can control are what will influence the outcomes. And so I think that's where your focus needs to be. And that's where mine has been. That looks like solidifying my strengths early, making sure I'm in the best physical shape I can be. Trying to improve my preparation from a routine standpoint, specifically, as the spring goes on, and then learn the most I can from outing to outing. Try to limit the number of things that we're still trying to improve or tighten down as the regular season starts.
I know the focus of this call obviously is talking about the present, opening day, and everything ahead of you in 2024. But I've always kind of been curious. You came onto the scene late in the 2021 campaign, so clearly you experienced winning it all with this club. How much does that feeling and that initial, I guess, taste of the major leagues kind of drive you as you go through? And I mean, there was all that talk about, and still is, and the expectations that you guys have for one another. How much have you reflected on that? And I guess where in the process or the motivation does that all fall?
Yeah, I mean, in 21, I started this season, my first full season, really my first pro season. Was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to pitch in the big leagues at the end of the year for a couple of days, but wasn't really a part of that team. I certainly don't want to take credit for anything that happened or act like I experienced what they accomplished. But I think that sets a standard for sure. That you're a part of a world championship organization, and that's certainly the language that's used around here. And I think that it's important to hold ourselves to that standard, and the way we prepare and the way that we set our goals on a daily basis. And I think that the spring, from a collective standpoint, has been really good for that.
A few more for Spencer.
You've always been a guy.
one.
Just real quick, just you said about the other guys in the rotation, could have easily started. So what was it like to hear from Max and Chris and Charlie about the honor of going game one? I'm sure they came up to give you a high five or something.
Yeah, nothing too ceremonious about it, but like I said, and that's kind of how I view it as well. I think that we all know that what happens on opening day will be forgotten pretty quickly if we are where we want to be in 6 months from now. So this is the beginning of a slow march to a goal that we have had our eyes on all spring.
One more for me, Spencer. How much you've mentioned several times about how last season ended, despite the great year you had, not happy about the way it ended. Just how much are you kind of driven by that? Seems like everything now is sort of the focus. If it's not good at the end of the year, obviously you don't consider it a successful season. How much are you just kind of motivated by what happened at the end of last year?
Well, I think that, my job as a pitcher is to help win games, win championships. So, if we can win every regular season game and then go 0-3 in the DS or 0-2 in a wild card series, and there's nobody's giving you a trophy for winning 162 games. So that's kind of the perspective I have. I think that because this is a team sport, my job is to contribute to the collective goal of winning a team trophy, and that's the World Series. And like I said, I think that my focus from a personal standpoint was what it needed to be in the postseason, and my performance was not sufficient to obtain that goal, that outcome that we desired. And my response has been that I need to do what I can to try to improve my ability to help the team this offseason in the spring, and that's where my focus will be every day in the regular season as well. And I like our chances getting to October this year and hopefully writing a different story.
Joe, thank you.
Joe Lamar, I have one out of Savannah. Has there been any player that you've seen in spring training that you're really excited to see what they do in 2024 based on what you saw them do this spring?
I mean, there's been a lot. I think that, guys, knowing who's on the team, I think that, Forrest Wall, I think just the preparation that he's had and the focus every day, his work ethic is tremendous. And, he's worked hard to get to this point in his career, and the talents are obviously they're obvious, and the tools are obvious. So, I'm super excited for his opportunity, and I know that the preparation and the work ethic, like I said, are going to be there every day, regardless of what his playing time looks like. And I think that he's a guy that's very capable of stepping into an everyday role and if need be, and helping us win.
All right, Lee, let's talk some NFL free agency now. Step away from the Braves a little bit. So, Atlanta Falcons is no secret. They've been busy since free agency started. Obviously signing their, I guess you could say, quarterback of the future or quarterback of the near future, and Kirk Cousins to that monster contract. And then they went out and got him some help around him. Darnell Mooney, a wide receiver. So they've been making some moves here in free agency. Yep. So many moves, in fact, that Fox Sports took notice, and they put them as their big winners so far in free agency. Now, we all know winning the offseason doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot, right?
But doesn't mean you're going to win the regular season.
Doesn't mean you're going to win once the regular season starts. But so far, when you look at these off-season moves, rather, for the Falcons, still with the NFL draft coming up too, how much do you like the offseason so far for the Falcons?
I mean, look, quarterback's obviously the biggest position on the field. I mean, it's the thing that keeps everything going. You know how many people are going to be dependent on that one position?
Like everybody in the entire building?
Exactly, and the fans.
Yeah.
That's really the big part, is the fans.
Yeah.
So, yes, I look, they got their guy. Now you just got to stay healthy and play well.
Yeah, I mean, I think any offseason that, especially for where the Falcons were at, when you looked at everything that they did last year and you said, boy, if they had a better quarterback, this football team, who knows what this football team can do. When you think about the weapons they had around the quarterback position. So job number one this offseason was to figure out the quarterback position. They figured that out. So whether I think Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback, good quarterback, average quarterback, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they have that position solved moving forward. So if you solve that position moving forward, then I think you've done your job this offseason. And they didn't stop there. They went out and they got help around the quarterback position. I think Darnell Mooney is one of those signings that people won't pay much attention to, but I think that's a key guy opposite of Drake London that I think they can really use within the offense with Kyle Pitts, with Bijan Robinson, because hopefully in this offense they get much more use out of Bijan Robinson than the previous administration did. And so, yeah, I mean, I see the reason for optimism in the offseason, but like you said, what's that?
What's the biggest thing Kirk's going to need when he gets here? People to throw the ball to.
Yeah, people throw the ball to. People to protect him, but I think their line was already in solid shape, right?
So the line's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, like if they wanted to go and draft somebody and upgrade the line, I wouldn't. I'll never say no to that.
Right.
Because you can never have enough good offensive linemen. But they went out, they got two receivers. They also got Ray McLeod. I don't know how much he's going to play and contribute. But they got him back for Ritter. Yeah. So they're trying to at least make an effort.
That's Rondale Moore, right?
I thought he got McLeod too.
Oh, maybe they picked up McLeod. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you look around the quarterback and what they've done, I think it sort of leaves the door open now for when the draft comes around. I think they have to attack the pass rush, right? Because I think that's been a real problem last couple of years. Obviously, I saw one of your guys from Alabama, his name Dallas Turner, as one of the guys who they made.
I think he's all right.
Okay, not a big fan.
They're having no. I was underplaying him. He's 256 pounds and he just ran like a 4.4. Like it's insane. It's crazy.
Now you keep your eye pretty closely on Alabama football. Was he really impactful guy?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. He was definitely their best pass rusher last year.
Okay.
And yeah, he's like a Will Anderson light.
Okay. Well, hey, Will Anderson, what defensive rookie of the year last year, right? So
he could certainly come in and help this defense tremendously, like right off the bat, like no questions.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that will probably be the focus come NFL draft time, especially with that first round pick. Is let's get some guys that can get after the quarterback on the defensive side of the ball, because since I've been covering the Falcons the last 3 years, they haven't had that. They haven't had a guy that can get after the quarterback. So I look for that to be something that they attack in the draft.
Totally forgot they also got Charlie Warner.
Oh yeah,
former
from
UGA tight
UGA.
end.
Okay,
so
yeah.
From San Francisco. So they're trying to make Kirk, give him some kind of weapons.
Bolster the offense up, and then once you do that, obviously
They signed Kadero Hodge again. So
Kadero Hodge, yeah. So
yeah,
good.
They're doing some stuff, man. They're making it happen.
Good pieces. So making it happen to another football team in
got?
town, way out,
Kennesaw
Kennesaw State last year. They had a rough 2023 though. They went 3-6 in 2023.
Yeah.
So they're back to work this week with their spring practices, trying to make 2024 a lot better. They have a new conference this year though, right?
They do. They do.
Was it Conference USA? That's what
they're going to Conference USA.
Conference USA.
Yeah.
So
So
they
they're
talk
going D1.
right. So that's a big ramp up from where they're at. There'll be more eyes on the program. There'll be more visibility on the program.
They're
So
going to have a harder schedule too.
Much harder schedule. I got up there for practice this morning as they got after it. Coach Brian Bohannon and his group got after it, and they talked about a variety of topics, including the step to Conference USA. Check it out.
It's just good to be back out, right? Spring ball, you got a chance to get out. We've been doing the conditioning and weight training. It's good to be back out practicing. A lot of new faces out here, obviously coaches and players as well. So it was good to be back out here, and there was some enthusiasm coming out to practice today as we kind of in a new era in Kennesaw State football.
Yeah, how have you been kind of managing? I feel like we've been talking about it for a while, but now that it's finally here, how are you getting ready?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the opportunity to do something, to make history, to leave a legacy and do something different. But I think for now, we got to be kind of lost a little bit in the process in the moment of getting ready for that. Got to put the work in so you can have those opportunities. So they know it. The kids know it. We bring it up. Hey, this is what we want to do. This is how we want to do it. So I think it's created a little more excitement coming in this spring, and I think that's a good thing.
How do you, I guess, manage the expectation, though, going into a new conference for this team? I mean, do you feel like a little bit of a chip on your shoulder that you have to prove a little bit more?
Well, I think that's the way we need to be, and that's the way we've won here. And if we don't have that, we're going to struggle. That's the way I've communicated with the guys, and that's the way I'm going to be. That's the way they need to be to give our chance to be successful. We got something to prove. I mean, we're probably going to be picked dead last in everything they throw out there. So that in itself ought to be enough, to have a little chip and a little edge about us as we go prepare to enter this new era of Kennesaw State football.
What challenges, I guess, have you experienced kind of entering this new era that you've
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything, right? It's just we're still, this is a growth phase for us. This is not going to be a snap our fingers and we're there and everything's good. It's going to take time. But what we would want to do is incrementally in every area get better at what we're doing to get ourselves to that level, right? And that's in everything we're doing. So I think we're going to continue to take incremental steps to do that.
What do you look forward to the most, though, about this being in Conference USA? Like, how can it help your program just moving forward?
The biggest thing is the exposure. The national TV exposure, and not just for our football program and athletics, but for the university. You're going to turn on the TV on a Friday, Tuesday, or Wednesday next fall, and we're going to be on national TV, and that, I don't think you can put a price tag on that. And it's going to be a great opportunity for our kids and our program to go showcase who we are and what we're about. And so I think that's huge. I think that's huge for everybody here at this university and this community.
Does it give your team, though, a little bit like a different energy? Because last year you were kind of trying to piece together a schedule, and now you'll have a schedule, what your schedule is, things like that.
Yeah, it better, because it's a schedule, right? Yeah, there's no question about that. The motivation, I don't even talk about last year a lot around here right now, but completely opposite situation. So the schedule's there, they know it, they know the opportunities. Now it's just, can we build and be the best version of ourselves we can be?
What's your goal over these next 14 practices just for you guys?
So I told them today, can each individual out here take one or two things, go get better at them each day, and do it with winning effort? Well, we talk about winning effort and playing hard and being tough, some things that are going to have to help us navigate our way to this FBS world, right? So can we do that, and can we grow as a program, in the next 14, 15 practices to a point where we can continue to get tougher and play harder, and in the same token have enough attention to detail to go do the things we need to in a moment, regardless of how we feel.
When you're incorporating new coaches on both sides of the ball, I know they've been here, but now they're just with a new role. So how do you kind of do that just coaching wise? How do you use that this spring?
Yeah, it's really been good. You know, the coordinators who have been here, I hired, they understand the culture and what we're trying to get accomplished. Honestly, that's been a lot easier than maybe some of the other changes we've had staff-wise over the years. We have three new guys on defense, one on offense, and it's like they've been here. I'll be honest with you, it's been really refreshing. It's been really good. It's just like they stepped in. I said this back during recruiting. We were in a meeting and it was like they had all been here, and it was really good. So I'm excited about our staff. We're all on the same page of what we're trying to get accomplished now.
Who are some young players that you're just excited to watch this spring?
There's a lot of young ones. I mean, you go look at the back end, and you know, we got to go find some safeties and see who can step up. You know, I think we're looking for some guys to step up on defense as well. You know, on the defensive line. I'm scared to name too many names because I'll leave somebody out. I always feel bad about that, but it's going to be interesting. I'll say this spring we'll have an opportunity for more kids to emerge than maybe we've had here in a while. Because you go through and look and, all right, who are the guys at every position? Well, there's some unknowns, but I think you're going to see some guys emerge at several positions over the next 3-4 weeks, and I think that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Well, just you have one of the highest ranked recruiting classes that you've ever had. Is that giving you any energy? I know it's the first day, but
yeah,
giving you some energy coming into the spring training.
Yeah, you know, it's good. I don't look at that a lot or get caught up in it a lot because at the end of the day we got to get out here and we got to get ready to go and play. But I think that's a credit to our staff and them being diligent about going out and working hard to put together a really good class, especially with all the changes that went on in the middle of recruiting. You know, we lost 3 coaches in December and right in the middle of recruiting. So it's a credit to everybody involved in our program to keep at it, you know, to go be able to put that class together. And we're not done, obviously. You know, we're in a different era of college football, right? So we're not done. We'll navigate some more at the end of spring and see where that takes us.
How have you you've been here from the beginning, building the program, to now you're helping them transition now to Conference USA. I mean, what kind of challenges has that prevented, and what have you learned kind of from that? I mean, I feel like you've been through a lot.
Yeah, yeah. It's very similar, but different. In a way, it's a little more challenging now than it was then, because then nobody knew anything, thought anything, wasn't sure if we could get 11 people on the field. Well, we've won some games here. So now there's like expectations, right? And we're moving to a different level, right? And listen, we've never won an FBS game here. We've never won one. So you know what the goal is? Let's go get one. Let's go get one. And then we'll build from there and see where it takes us. But we got to go get one. You know, we haven't done that yet. So it is very similar but different in time. It's a heavy lift, and we'll navigate our way through it. It's just.
All right, Lee, real quick, NCAA tournament getting underway this week. Most of the madness getting underway tomorrow. Obviously, yesterday we had the first 4, but most of the madness getting underway tomorrow. Yep. Who do you have as your favorite?
Oh, I think UConn.
UConn again,
top overall
back to back.
Seed. Yeah, I think so.
That'd be tough. Look, it's real funny. Like, historically, whenever I would do all these brackets and everything, and I would say, who do I think is going to win this tournament, right? So I would always lean on the side of, and this may seem stupid, but this almost worked for me one year. I would go to NBADraft.net and see what team had like the most draft eligible prospects and stuff, because I feel like, all right, some of these guys, if they're really good, they'll probably lead their team far.
Yeah.
It only almost worked for me one time. It was 2013 when I took Michigan. They had guys like Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway Jr. on that Michigan team, a couple draftable guys.
Was that when they lost to Louisville?
They lost to Louisville. They were winning in the second half. I think at halftime of that game, they were up.
Was that
and they were
Peyton Siva, right?
Yeah, Peyton Siva and that team, and yeah, that was the year when the kid Kevin Ware broke his leg.
Oh.
Right. I should have known they were going to win it all then when he broke his leg, because they were going to be so inspired by him, and I should have known that. But I took Michigan on that bracket. That was actually the last time I played an NCAA tournament bracket. And Michigan let me down that year as they lost. But, you know, I felt good for Louisville because of what they had to go through with Kevin Ware going down with that injury. So good luck to them. Well, good for them that they won, and good luck to everybody who's participating in the NCAA tournament, as it'll be a crazy next couple weeks of March Madness for everybody.
Always is.
All right, that does it for sports tonight here on a Wednesday. Lee, always great, right?
Yep.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy and go watch some sports.
See ya.